Welcome to The Savvy Scribe, a podcast for freelance healthcare and medical writers who want to start or grow their business. Your hosts, Carol Bush and Janine Kalbach, will help you build a profitable health writing business without having to spend years figuring it out on your own. Now, let's join the conversation.
Hey, everybody, it's Carol. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen every week and join Janine and I as we share information for high-performing health writers on the Savvy Scribe podcast. We are so excited for the last quarter of 2019. How about you? By the time you listen to this episode, you'll probably have only about 90 days left in the year. And I love being able to plan my time 90 days out. So guess what? Janine and I are so excited. We're going to be getting together in November to plan for 2020. And we have some great ideas up our sleeves, as you can imagine. We've had a wonderful time with our Savvy Scribe Growth Lab students. They're landing gigs, building websites, taking their business profitably to the next level. In the future, we'd like to know, what would you like from this podcast? We're going to be meeting in real life in November, and we're going to be doing some planning. We'd love to hear, what are your struggles? What do you want help with? How can we serve you? We really want to know so that we can put out content that you find valuable and that you are going to be psyched to get on your phone every week and listen to that Carol and Janine in your pocket. The planning game is going to be on. Please give us your feedback, and you can send it to savvyscribes@gmail.com, or better yet, join us in the Savvy Scribe Collective and leave feedback in the gated Facebook community. Now, let's go on to the show. Hey everyone, thanks for joining the show. Today I want to talk about 5 ways you can prepare for an encore career as a health writer. Now, contrary to what you might guess, the highest rate of entrepreneurial growth over the last few years is not Gen Y upstarts, but boomers over the age of 50, people like me. Now we are called encore entrepreneurs. In fact, according to the most recent index of startup activity by the Kaufman Foundation, see the show notes, I love the Kaufman Foundation, and recent Small Business Administration reports, these encore entrepreneurs are actually driving a new entrepreneurship boom. We definitely see that emails and interest, listeners subscribing to the Savvy Scribe podcast. Now, some people are calling entrepreneurship actually the new midlife crisis. You know, after all, we used to be considered, quote, over the hill or graying or retiring. Now, obviously, this is partially due to the economy, but also due to longer, healthier lives and changes in job tenure. As boomers, encore entrepreneurs, we are now expected to stay in the labor force longer. And according to a recent U.S. News article, we will likely dominate the labor market by 2024. Encore entrepreneurs are change makers, creating a new stage of life for midlife and beyond, characterized by some individual renewal and our desire to make a social impact. Think about it. It's a daunting proposition, nearing that magic age, 50, 55 plus, and trying to make the call about whether we're ready to jump into a new career as a writer, especially knowing the tremendous work to become a powerful storyteller. And yet many courageous people do just this. Look at our Savvy Scribe Collective. We have people from all backgrounds and specialties launching profitable businesses, making it fit with their lifestyle, earning as much as 6, 7, and some even 8 figures. Back in 2014-ish, I already thought I was the luckiest person in the working world. I had a 30-year career as an oncology nurse and a community health consultant. I believed I'd made a real contribution to the communities and initiatives I worked with. The gratitude I feel for being able to even speak these words to you now extends actually to my Encore career as a podcast host and a business coach. It has definitely brought immense satisfaction and creative energy to my life. So for those of you out there listening, and maybe you're thinking, okay, you're wishing or preparing to make a transition to an Encore career that involves writing, today I'd like to offer 5 strategies that I believe help me make that change successfully. And yes, guess what? The first one's sort of nursey. First, plan ahead. 3 years before I wanted to switch to writing full time, I prepared by researching and then making adjustments in those areas. So, for example, take a look at 1, retirement. You'll want to maximize contributions to your retirement fund and savings. This could include increasing work hours, changing some deductions, maybe increasing your contributions to a 401k. What did I do? I landed my first retainer client and socked the profit into emergency savings. Second, while you're planning ahead, you'll want to look at your family finances. Know exactly what you will need to contribute, both in salary and benefits, after the switch to a primary career as a high-performing health writer. The third area you'll want to plan ahead in, future work opportunities. Think about this. If full retirement is not possible, you may consider exploring whether reduced or flexible work hours or a virtual position, transitioning to a virtual position that would be more writing related are options. There are many opportunities out there. My second success strategy, actually, it might really be 2 in 1, is when you're in your day job, be transparent and create a transition plan. Now, back in 2014-ish, I knew I couldn't work full-time, participate in my family life, and summon the focus to write for clients, do all of the things. Lots of people can do this, but I just couldn't. I knew I could, and I did work toward my Encore career while still working full-time. So I partitioned it out. I was also very blessed by a forward-thinking boss and a collaborative work culture. In fact, working with my then boss, Hope, now friend, Hope Krebill, was how I first learned the power of co-working, that whole hour of power. And that actually is a whole episode in itself. Seriously, Hope and I worked together to craft my 2-year transition plan. We reviewed and revised that plan every 3 months. And as Hope and I had co-crafted my transition plan, I discovered 2 really key actions that I took that now in hindsight really made both of us look very strategic. So first, I looked at exploring transitional work opportunities. It can be really hard to move from one career to another abruptly. I was fortunate to partner with several local and regional health associations, and I started offering webinars on the power of creating content. So, for example, writing and blogging as a nurse. So here I was writing, and my students were writing. I began to feel more like a writer. So think about it in your neck of the woods, in your situation. What writing related options might be available to you as you move toward writing full time? The second key strategy I employed was, and I really encourage everyone to work at improving your craft. Back then, I read everything I could get my hands on about writing and blogging for small business owners and as a small business owner. I attended a local workshop that focused on content marketing as an investment in myself and my Encore career. It was the best way to launch my daily writing habit and start connecting with other writers. Awesome. I also invested in LinkedIn training, and I started following and connecting with top nurse bloggers, health writers, and managing editors on social media. A third success tip as you're transitioning, Find others who share your interests. One thing that's going to happen is the change of identity that goes with a career change can be unsettling. And joining others and moving toward this brand new you is a positive way to cope. Back in 2009, I began connecting with other oncology nurses on Twitter, and we formed a small critique group, which was critical to my developing sense of myself as a writer and editor, and certainly made my articles better. So where in the heck do you find a tribe of writers? In addition to the Savvy Scribe, there are many other writing communities out there on the web. You just need to be able to search for those. In the show notes, I'm going to share with you a link, 100 Best Websites for Writers, that came from the website, The Right Life. It's a great resource, so make sure and check it out. Okay, now let's get back to prepping you for your Encore career as a health writer. Remember that in previous episodes I've said everyone's a mess? That's a pretty good segue for my fourth piece of advice. Keep your expectations reasonable. Folks, it takes time to learn new skills, time to adjust from a former schedule, and most importantly, time to figure out who you want to be in your new role as a high-performing health writer. Do you have a book or maybe a blog or a website in you? Think about this. Will you add content strategy, editing, or even webinars and live events to your service mix for your high-performing health niche? One of my local writing pals retired in 2015, thinking it would take almost a year to hit his income goals. Well, I'm here to tell you it actually took 4. So thankfully, he had some extra money set aside. So again, be realistic and be patient with yourself and your journey, because your journey is your journey. It's going to take the time that it's going to take. Just as we have advised our 20-something kids and coworkers, you have time to specialize. Rome wasn't built in a day. Or, as my husband, the handsome Don Juan, likes to say, reminding me to be present, we are all really only given today. So live it up. Colleagues often ask me if I regret not having started my Encore career earlier. I have no regrets. This time in my life provides the internal wisdom, the time to educate myself, and the time to focus to create. I've loved rising to the challenge in spite of a few detours, some website crashes, an almost disastrous human resources debacle, sprinkling in a few business pivots and the ever wonky business journey. My bonus advice: keep front and center why you want to impact others through your writing in the first place. Know your numbers. That's profit. Know your profit. So now's the time. Follow your passion. You deserve it. We'd love to support you if health writing is in your future. Hey everyone, it's Carol. I wanted to take just a few minutes break from the podcast to make sure you were aware of an essential resource that will help you ramp up your business. Often you hear Janine and I talk about the power of a community, and we know that building a professional network of like-minded entrepreneurs has several benefits for high-performing health writers. It gives you a sounding board for when you have questions or want advice, which is a huge help, especially in the early stages of a business. The cool thing is, as your network grows, so do your resources. And quite frankly, so do your chances of success. So the great news is, Janine and I created a private community just for fans of the Savvy Scribe podcast. That's right, just for you. It's called the Savvy Scribe Collective. The collective is a gated community, and it's open to forward-thinking health writers just like you who are focused on growing and scaling profitable businesses. Janine and I co-managed the group, and we created it as a safe space to share resources, ask for advice, and to connect as a community of forward-thinking health writers. We are both here to support and help you, and we encourage our tribe to do the same. In the collective, we're going to be sharing some extra episodes, bonus show notes, free webinars, and some mini courses, and more. There'll be a lot of unannounced fun too. Just think about it. How much more would you accomplish if you had a strategic partner in your business? Check us out on Facebook and look to the show notes so you can get hooked up with the Savvy Scribe Collective. We'll see you soon.
For today's episode of the Savvy Scribe. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's show, we'd love for you to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes or your favorite podcast app. Until next time.